Hey y'all, what's going on? Okay, now I had a love say, why in the hell haven't you been reviewing Scandal? Baby, I'm about to give you that because I'm about to talk about that and possibly some other shit. You know, just gonna kind of throw it in because I am fully abreast of Scandal right now and the scandalry that's going on, honey. Now that Liv is laying that ass in the White House, okay? On my lips, let me just get pretty brown eyes, and in my warmer, what am I warming? My SCENTSY winter cypress, and feeling all kinds of way right about now, okay? And y'all, another pretty brown eyes bites the dust. I'm down to the left. Y'all, it's ridiculous. It's not ridiculous, it's just my favorite. And y'all know that's by Dasha. All right, you already know. Okay, let's get into it now. Honey, I thought I was scandalized by last week's or whatever. When the whole shit went down and they were trying to do, you know, we gonna do this wedding. The bitch is still doing her show, trying to bring them down. She meets with Millie, honey. The way they got Millie in the crossfire, honey, and it was an ambush. And then her telling Millie who her dad is, but Millie calls him something else. And she's like, no, his name is this Pope, so that's my dad or whatever. Just how that shit went on. Oh, Lord Jesus, let's get into this one. So we know this week it's supposed to be it was supposed to be last week about Liv and him getting married. Honey, Liv couldn't take it because that Secret Service was talking to him and he was yada, 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 yada. And she was looking over there and they talking and this and that and other. And I have to tell y'all what I dislike the most about this season is this thing between her and Cy, because I really liked their friendship. However diabolical them two motherfuckers are together. It's like they are preparing to get rid of Cy. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one that's thinking that or whatever. And I'm feeling bad for him because I'm like, Lord, y'all done took the man, you know you killed him, you low down motherfuckers. Still mad about that and hurt. Anywho, so, and y'all never mind the background pictures, just, okay. So she decides that she's not going to do it, even after he went and got Betsy Johnson's or whoever the fuck rang and this and that and other. She just like, oh, I can't do it. She's standing there looking like Kennedy and couldn't do it. Now, into this one, she's just like, I'm feeling myself. You know, she's kind of feeling herself. Dad is out. You know, he's just gone or whatever the case may be. And it's just like, whatever. Now, Fitz is somewhere thinking, well, he's lost and I'm sorry and this and that and other. Meanwhile, this bitch knows where the fuck and what the fuck went on. And I don't understand why Liv would have gave Millie that kind of power. Just real talk. And she's like, you gonna put me in the White House. You thirsty White House bitches. Anywho, okay, let me see. Y'all, it's just so much going on. It's just, I like it, but it's just so much going on. And I do not like the dynamics between Cy and Liv. I just don't. So, okay, let me just talk about what's pertinent to me. One thing I want to bring up is the whole situation with David not wanting old girl to do this interview with that hateful ass bitch who killed her husband who was gay a long time ago, and how that bitch can sit her self-righteous ass in that seat and do that show and hit that bell and all of this. And bitch, please. I can't. Okay, so he's trying to figure out, Cy wants her to not do this interview, afraid of what she's going to say. She goes to David. David has her come in and is like, no, I don't want you to do this interview. Yada, yada, yada. They going back and forth. And I instantly sense the sexual tension between them, even though I loathe you and you this and that and other. And I would have thought, and you son of a bitch. You know, it's one of them. You know, I felt like she should have been doing that. So it's like, well, I can't stand you, but I would have thought that you would have some integrity or at least been about the right thing. I'm about to walk up out of here and I'm going to do that interview. He stands up like, you know, but he ain't really giving you that, but he's giving Liv tease because I don't know that you need to start being the official breather on Scandal because everybody knows nobody blinks like Liv with her even when the bitch is thinking she's, that's just part of her fucking character. You know, whatever. So she walks out or whatever. Si's all got his drawers in a bunch, his panties or whatever. He just came to work drawers. He goes in there with the president and lives in there, and it's always contempt when they see each other. And it's like, boom, you need to do something about it. I don't know. You're going to be the one that have to do this. You're going to have to talk to her, wink your eye at her, give her your this and that and other. And if all else fails, just lock the bitch up for espionage or some shit like that. He's looking like, no, I'm not going to do that. Liv is kind of, you know, looking inside them, and they giving each other the dirty bitch look like. And Liv's kind of giving the, I know you see me standing here with this pussy that he loved. I'm just saying. That was what Liv was giving me. Okay. So it's like, well, you need to do something. When he leaves, Side waits going out the door. Of course, as soon as he comes in, he's always looking to see if they having a hand grabbing, or ass grabbing, or fucking, or whatever moment. You know, he slowly goes out like, I'm watching you, bitch, you and your pussy. I'm just telling y'all what I got out of it, y'all. It's a whole nother thing for me. So it's like, shut the door, and y'all, if y'all hear something in the back, this window is towards the little, what the fuck am I calling, cul-de-sac, whatever, where the kids play. So y'all might hear them, okay? And there's one little bad motherfucker out there that I just want to go and find out which house or wherever you live in, honey, and say, you need to get your child, because your child is set out here and call these other children motherfuckers, and everybody, y'all can't with these kids, you motherfucking mamas. If y'all don't get a hold of these motherfucking bad little son of a bitches, I'm just saying, this motherfucker has sat out there and called, and he looks like he's about 7. He's like, motherfucker, didn't I tell you, bitch? I'm like, you know, like, really? And with sincerity and abandonment in it and just giving you all of that. Anywho, that was just an interlude telling y'all if y'all hear that. Okay. So then, okay, the door shuts and Liv's like, no, I wouldn't tell her. No, I would want her to do the shit. And of course, you know, then she cooking some shit up. And I'm thinking she gonna go and talk to her and say, look, this what's gonna happen, yada, yada, yada. Fitz is sitting there looking like, as long as I get smashed later on, whatever you think is best, Liv. Which leads me to the next part that stood out to me, is the fact that after all that shit's, well, let's go into this. She goes to do the interview. Miss Thing is sitting up there ready for some dirt, and I would think you madder than mules with bees in your mouth or some shit like that. Bitch, can't we just do without the country colloquiums, coos, or whatever you want to call them, bitch? I've had it. Okay, so she says, yeah, I am mad at the fact that how much money was spent to bring down this man who is a good man. And I was like, okay, bitch. Okay. All right, I see you. This bitch is like, huh? Sighs in there like, oh, thank God, honey, I can unpucker this ass, because, baby, I was puckered. They looking like, what the fuck just happened? You know, Liv somewhere, she done cooked the books and worked that shit out. And Fitz is just like, look, as long as you ain't got no drawers on under that suit, I'm okay with that. Then old girl says, don't you think it's time for a commercial or whatever? No, bitch. No, not you. Not you, nervous, thirsty bitch. Anywho, come to find out, Liv, they done gave her a job under some chief of staff or some shit like that. You know, Liv done cooked it up. Here comes Sai in the room looking like, oh, I want to know how you did that, talking to the president. But Liv's like looking and then looks up at him like, bitch, how you think? I'm not standing, but I know you see me sitting over here on this good coochie. I'm just saying. That's what Liv gives when it's between her and Sai now. Okay, so she done got this job. Instantly, Sai's feeling some kind of way. He's already feeling like he's being booted out. Now, after that whole scene, Sai goes into the shit to talk to her, which is kind of towards the end, and y'all know I'm kind of all over the place. Now, let me just, you know, stop right there for a moment. Okay, because I need to go into the real Kiki and the coup of the show. Miss Shonda, is it Shonda? Whichever, the lady that writes this, girl, if you wasn't throwing motherfucking shade at the Cosby motherfuckers, y'all, when I watched this, that's all I thought about. And all I thought was about every motherfucker that I done heard say some silly, well, you know, everybody's entitled to their motherfucking opinion, but here's my thing, as it pertains to Cosby, motherfuckers grappling onto what his character was, sit the fuck down. I had to say it like that, and that's just what the fuck this was. But did I see this bitch coming? Now, listen, the key was that the women was drugged. It was several of them at different times saying when they woke up, he was just on me. And I was like, ain't that a bitch, girl? Way to stand up and stand with women and say, you know, it's not cool to brush rape under the motherfucking rug. Just because you feel, oh, he's Cosby putting whatever the fuck you feel he is. The fuck? People kill me with that shit. I'm willing to take, you know, turn my head on it because he did a movie. Cosby was Fat Albert, and he's pudding, and he was all about education and got all of these motherfucking honorary degrees and yada 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 and boom 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 boom, and brought something to. And when that was going on, that was when there was no positive black men and families and this and that and other. Where the fuck you been at? It's been plenty of them out there. I'm not buying that shit. Motherfuckers kill me with that thirst to try to make something into what the fuck it's not. Here's what it is. See, for me, I cannot sit here as a woman, and I guess more than anything, I see where the men are coming from. But more than anything, what irritates me is the women that can sit behind that shit. You know, you believe what you want to believe, but come on, how the fuck can you be like every one of them is lying? Just so you can keep this cool in your motherfucking head of some magical shit that was going on. Move into the motherfucking world. Get out of the dream world or whatever. I'm sorry. I had mom and dad at home. Yada, 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 yada. Still together now. I'm grateful. But with that said, I do know there was a lot of people who didn't have that, but they still, even without that, would not be willing to overlook the fact that this motherfucker had Quaaludes, was giving them, drugging them. Come on. I can't. I love that she did this. Thank you so very much. And even more so than that, when Lib knew and was trying to get him, and they found out that his wife was on long-term medicine, and she come in, and when that bitch said, and was like, don't you, I said, oh no, wait, I know this is not just kind of throwing Cosby out there, but is this kind of, what's the shade? To throw his wife out there and all the other wives that have turned their motherfucking hands on him. Just because of what you thought he might, you know what I'm saying? Just to keep that cool and whatever, you know, esteem people see you in. What the fuck? How the fuck you gonna be happy to motherfucker? I'm not saying this is the case. This is a scenario. How the fuck you gonna be happy to motherfucker who killed somebody, buries some motherfucking body, bitch, and then feel like you not accountable? How the fuck you gonna know some shit like that? And just because he was smart and doing your time and you couldn't get, and yada 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 yada, you know, bitch, that makes it all the more wrong, bitch. And you knew. I'm just saying, and that spoke to the women that turned their motherfucking heads on every motherfucking thing. When it comes to things like rape and all of this and molesting of their kids, because the same bitches that will do that will know that a motherfucker is raping and fucking their son or daughter and turn their motherfucking head on to see, you got me fucked up. And I can't even look at that shit like, what? So this is why I'm kind of like, what? You're entitled to your motherfucking opinion for all the women who do stand up for it, but please stop standing up for a dream that never was. This was a motherfucking fictional ass show. And I love the fact that she put this in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and expose the wife that's willing to stand there and lube the child's ass up just for him to get in there. So don't, I'm so glad she did it. Thank you and kudos. And I love the fact that them women walked out and stood in front of him and Liv said, well, I'm for the feminists and all of that. Yeah, I loved it. I love the shade in it. Now, some folks might not have seen that shade, honey, but it was clear to me, you know, what it was. And I was like, okay, let's be realistic. And then the fact that they added in, just to add another thing to it, just rape on the campuses where the women will go to people to tell them, and they will just brush it under the table. How dare you let yourself get raped? The fuck out of here. The fuck out of here. I can't stand to know a bitch got a pussy and will stand behind some shit like that. Bitch, please. I'm just saying, there's so many that feel that way, but you're entitled to that. I'm entitled to mine. You know, we can agree to disagree. But I sure love the shade that was in it. Anywho, y'all, I'm sorry y'all was feeling some kind of way about that shit. It is what the fuck it is. And, you know, everybody has their right to their opinion, but that is just mine and how I feel about it. Moving on along, okay? So, now, let's see, what else do we have? Because that was the main shit to me that just even, you know, kind of stood out to me. I'm always somewhere wondering when Huck and old girl gonna get together and spit and tear each other's clothes off again. Side told Liv, I didn't like being, I went from being the man behind the man to being the man behind the woman who's behind the man. And now I am the man behind the woman, and that is my position, saying she's got the power and pretty much doing what he does. And had Liv not been in love with Fitz, Liv knew exactly where he was coming from with that. When her ass in there felt some kind of way, it was like, that's what a real relationship is about. You know, as to throw shade like your shit wasn't real or whatever, you know, he's just been hurt up and down. Okay, so she goes in there and he's in there. And plus he said, he was kind of saying he's complacent. He's happy. He's got you in the White House in the bed and shit like that. And, you know, and that's who he is. Liv knew what he was saying was so, but she doesn't want Fitz to be hurt like that. But as he was leaving, she was kind of feeling those power teas and went in there upset to get her a drink and all of that. And he's talking about this in the meeting. And then that's when he says, okay, well, I don't know where your dad is. We can't find him. It's like he's disappeared. And I'm thinking she's getting ready to tell him, well, I do. She goes on to say, this is what you should do for the meeting. And that lets me know, Lord, this shit's getting ready to go south real fast. Real motherfucking fast. Liv is feeling herself. You know, and I hope she snap out of it. I love what happened, the way they did this one. Let me also mention Miss Honey Cabbage, who was there with the cooler from last week. Now, she's out there waiting while him and old girl in there who was talking about, I hate everything about you. I hate the way you look. I hate the way you do this. You this and that and other. You know, and they get close and I said it. I knew there was some tension between them. They kind of, like in their throne, she's like, sit down. I'm not asking, that's an order. And he's such a wimp in his character or whatever. He wants to be, and I'm like, didn't you learn from the last shit? And this shit ain't going to end well because, Miss Red Hair, she going to feel some kind of way, I think. I'm just saying, I think she is. But I think this bitch, I think both of them have, tension between them, digging each other. But I think this bitch is ambitious. And she sees it for what it is. And I think this is going to be a way for her to get back at Liv and Fitz, But honey, they getting it in. Miss Honey Cabbage, who can't control her laughs, nor, she just blurts. She's out there with her good 4 coolers because she at first didn't want to be the vice president. Now she does, and she's got her eye on him. That shit ain't going to end well. It just ain't going to end well. So y'all, that's my thoughts on Scandal. Leave your shit below. Let me know. Y'all know I just talk about what stands out to me. That was my thoughts. I thought it was a good episode. I'm kind of feeling good about watching Scandal again because last season it was like, the fuck? And it was coming. How to Get Away with Murder was out there, honey, and it's still out there, and that's a hell of a thing to compete with. So, I'm enjoying this season, so we will continue to talk about this. I'm glad. I feel like I'm up to speed, and I'm with y'all, on it. So next week it'll be business as usual. So y'all let me know. Okay, so that's, what I want to talk about here right now. And I think I want to go into something else. Okay, I'm gonna just ush into something else. Okay, y'all. Can we get into this new show? Yes, I know y'all waiting on Empire, and I could really talk about that in 5 minutes because it was just, that's what it was. Let me talk about this new show, Selling It. I do believe it's Selling It in the ATL. Let me make sure I got this name right. I'm definitely going to be talking about it because I see it's going to be a Kiki. And there's already some glorious shade going on. Just messiness in general. Yes, Selling It in the ATL. Okay. The basis of this is that you have these women who are, apart, they sell real estate in Atlanta. Mostly black, only one, they had to throw one white woman in there and of course give her that position of, somewhat not power, but she sells to Republicans and old money and, congressmen and this and that and other. Have to add that in because she has to add the fact that she's just that step above. But apparently things have kind of slowed down for her. And, she has to enlist her good black Judy. Or whatever we're going to call it. On this one, this episode is just kind of getting to know them. The Judy that's her friend or whatever, this is tits and ass. This is a good example of, it's just tits and ass. But I am kind of digging her. Now, never mind the fact that I don't know if she hard this man that she's dating. I want y'all to watch it. I'm not going to say it, but I want y'all to just watch it. If you've already watched it, please tell me what y'all think about the boyfriend of Miss Honey Cabbage with the titties, and she mainly sells to rappers and all of these things because Miss Honey Cabbage, Miss Old Money, she was having to show an estate for a rapper or whatever, and she's not used to doing that. So she enlisted her to come in and help her and this and that and other and third. And y'all know I don't have their names down. She goes and has old girl to come, but old girl saves her ass because just as she's saying, oh, and there's cows back there, it's kind of like, what, bitch? Cows. But I mean, it was there, but she whips out, Miss Titty whips out the Hennessy and take the shot and this and that and other. Miss Cow, she's like, oh God, girl, don't act like you haven't had any cognac, but please stop it. Anywho, so they showing the place or whatever. Now, let me tell you about this one. The guys pulled up. Miss Honey Cabbage is like, time for me to bring the girls out. She's unbuttoning her shit as she's there. And that's the cheesiest shit I've ever seen in my life. Now, bitch, if you was bringing titties, drop them titties out from the door. Like, don't be undoing your shit. Like, and the funny thing was it didn't look like they was checking for you at all. And you had to throw in there that, the black guy, well, before y'all went, the black guys like you, when y'all was inside her real estate office or whatever, pulling things together, and she's trying to get this good photo, and you like, honey, everything's digital. Please stop and let's don't. Okay. So, needless to say, they get the house or whatever. Now, we have these other two women that are mom, and I really need to go into them because they have had so much work done. First of all, the daughter, both of them is built up like Wendy Williams, and enough said. They don't have the titties that Wendy Williams has, but they are definitely built like, pro basketball players. They are straight up and motherfucking down, just horribly built, just badly built, and had all of this bad kind of, I think maybe some work done or something. Or if you had, I don't know, y'all. It's just ridiculous. It's like, oh, I've been in, I sold high end, this and that and other. I'm selling a lifestyle and I'm, girl. First thing I'm going to do is get you to get a little bit more high end with that hair you got on your head. And then, God, they came and when they seen the Atlanta boom coming and this and that and other, and she said, I've moved $3 million in real estate. I've had, and then the door, And so she's kind of meeting, and this guy comes in, and it's really supposed to be her mama, and it's like they trying to do some cheesy lead up to, and it's just her name, and then when, he sees the house and he's like, all this wood is so much done. He's not wanting to deal with the daughter, wanting to deal with the mama. And he goes around, he's like, so much wood. I don't know. This will be a lot. You're going to have to show me something else. Next time, wow me. This shit you pulled, I'm just not here for it. Meanwhile, the mother comes and, oh, I was caught in traffic and, oh, I'm so, and then, oh, Lord have mercy. Then the guy, he was like, oh, so-and-so, so glad to see her because I'm so tired of talking to your stale-ass daughter. Which I didn't understand what the difference is, honey, because when Mama come down, Mama was just as stale. But then Mama's motherfucking lips was like the Joker and I promise to be, when the door shut and she was like, Mom, now you're going to have to, Mom, you're going to have to do better than this. It's a business. And you're not respecting me. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. Just got this Big Ann's voice going on or whatever. And Big Ann's built. Like, for real. I'm just like, oh, Lord, I cannot, not will not. And I just can't give them no more time. Okay? They're not my favorites. But, you always have to have the bougies that think they bougie. But really people can see through they bougie. And it's like, it's cheap bougie, but yet you're selling a lifestyle. But anywho, then we have Miss Honey Cabbage that she's got this red hair. It's cute. But she got a shit-ass attitude. But apparently she has a real estate agency. And she's kind of moving and shaking and this and that and other. She definitely has an attitude. But she's also saying, I don't have time to hold hands or call nobody. You want to work under me, you better be self-motherfucking sufficient. And I ain't mad about that. But you do have to lead folks. She apparently, she's that one. I guess. I don't know. She gets this client from Nigeria. Babies, I about hit the floor when that motherfucking... When the damn thing came around and all I could see is Coming to America. When the damn car came around with the damn flags on it and shit, and I just wanted somebody to be throwing pedals and just the whole sound from Coming to America comes around. Now I'm like, now wait a minute. Is she she's like, she's in the high fours. And I guess she's thinking 400,000, but apparently Miss Honey Cabbage is supposedly supposed to be, and probably is, in the high 4 millions, and her husband is, he got a lot of money and yada, yada, yada. So when she comes in there, she comes in with security and this and that and other, and I'm looking for Mufasa and the rest of them. And I'm like, oh. And then the security's standing there like, girl, I don't know what we gonna do when we get off, but it's a gig. And I'm just like, is it needed? But whatever, I guess. Yeah, that's a horse of another color, honey. And I ain't even trying to go into that. I thought it was foolishness at its best, but whatever. So somehow she leaves. She's like, oh, this is too small and yada, 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 neighborhood, And she begins to say, oh, my husband's this and what he's, Oh, girl's like, oh, I thought it was 400,000. It's 4 million. So let me change this shit around, honey. Let me just start explaining to you how this neighborhood with this train coming through is prime. This is a great investment. Okay? Which, are we supposed to believe that Miss Honey that come with the flags on the car had not did any research or anything on the realtor? And first of all, I don't even envision her, because some folks when they, I don't even envision her calling her just, that elitist shit, I don't even envision that, but it's cute for what it was. So we're supposed to believe that you didn't know who she was and of what caliber, and we're supposed to believe that you really wanted to, whatever. I'm not buying it. So Dana Khan, she's like, you really do what you do well. This is what my husband is looking to spend. They're looking to spend $4 million on the house and $20 million on this investment. And old girl with the red hair is like, oh, I can make it happen. So now this is when the storyline comes together, because she's like, I got to pull together some realtors to help me. She goes into her office and she's like, y'all did not do your homework. The people that work under her. Her little mini-me was right there giving me way too much fever and whatever. So apparently she's mentoring her, whatever the case may be. But clearly you can see that I really don't like you, but I do like the business you do. And I would like to be something like you as a realtor. Like I want to make that money. So I'm going to learn what I can from you. But clearly together, it's whatever. They don't like each other. I don't care. I don't care what nobody says. Listening to them, they don't like each other. Do I think Miss Little Bitty Bits that's trying to be you can be anything you want to be. honey, don't let nobody stop you, but it's certain things you may need to change about yourself. Okay, so she's like, y'all didn't do your homework. Old girl says, well, let me take initiative and let me be over this meet and greet and come together of these relatives that you want to kind of bring in. So off of that, and she's like, oh, okay. And you taking initiative, and she's like, yes. I'm like, girl, stop. Okay, let's move forward. So, then we'll go into this other realtor. Her and her husband are separated, but they do have a friendship as far as they co-parent. I really like her and her, I like her personality and all of that. And she's kind of like, she kept it real when the crash came and all of that. I just had to kind of adapt. And, I like her. Now, that's the scene where her son's in there saying, well, Dad took my phone. Let's talk about that. Well, if you wasn't doing right, he should have taken your phone. Mom, you should have took it. He's not doing right, Okay, so they there, and I'm digging her. She's just kind of mellow, right there in the middle. She's just about her job, and that's what it is. Then at some point, this honey cabbage Miss Thing comes in, and apparently she sold real estate a long time ago. She's in her 40s, and she does look fabulous in her 40s. Apparently, she had 2 kids by a pro player, and then her son by somebody that's in the industry that is autistic. Now, when she first said, how could anybody, it has to be me at 40-something looking this fabulous, and I was kind of like, but then I kind of listened to what she was saying. I don't know what they're leading up to with the dad, but she came a little bit more personable to me as she began to talk about her son and just seeing them interact. So I'm riding with her, her son was autistic, and his dad has no interaction at all with him. And she was over at the house when the ex-husband came in, and she interjected herself in the conversation as he was saying, I took the phone because he's acting this way. And, and he was saying it's just not acceptable to me not to be in your children's lives. And, it was just a good conversation. Now, let me see. Have I left anybody out before I go forward? I got into the and then Miss Republican Old Money, whatever, Miss Honey Cabbage, and she at one point was selling stuff with the titties and the rappers and all that. She goes home to her boyfriend, and he's on the couch with his pink pants on, and he's clearly unboxed the KFC and like, oh, I did this for you, you wasn't here, she's late, she's getting out. I don't know. He's like, you're not here. She's like, I'm trying to afford us this lifestyle that we have, so I have to work. He's apparently supposed to be a model of some sort. I like her, but okay. I'm just going to leave him to y'all discretion. Just, if you watched it, leave that shit below. That's it. She says, sorry, yada, yada, yada. He says, and you going to give me something? I'm going to stop. See how that, see? Okay, off of that. Let me see. I feel like I'm missing somebody. The mother and the daughter. Titties. Republican. The 2 chicks that are friends. And I've mentioned Miss Honey Cabbage with the red hair. Okay. And then the child that's trying to be in that position or whatever. Okay, and so now let's go into this shit. The climax of the shit. And when the shade fully begins. Okay. So everybody goes and meets up. Miss Little Cabbage. She decides that she's going to have this bowl right there as you come in. Cleanse your hands. Cleanse everything. I don't know where that little bitch was going with that. But whatever, girl. Whatever, girl. You're nerve wracking. It's never going to happen. But your makeup was cooking. I mean, I guess it can. I mean, God, Jesus, no. I would never. She has them to come, and they think that they are looking at the house and maybe giving a pricing on it, what they would think it would be priced at or whatever. They They go through the house. Miss Red Hair, she has planted some things. One being this little sex toy thing or whatever. Miss Titties goes right in there and says, "Oh, I know what this is. You do this," and everybody's looking like, and that wasn't a good move at all. But I think she's kind of like, well, I don't know. And that was work, baby. And I get, hey, let's keep it real or whatever. But that was work, darling. That just wasn't the place. And then the show and the doggy. And then they sitting there looking some kind of way. The one that I said that I really like, she's just kind of like, oh, okay. Well, not right now. And, she kind of stayed focused. And which is what old girl said with the red hair. Now, they go into a room where there's supposed to be the smell and mold or some shit like that, and instantly I think it was Miss Thing, the mamas, the hottie toddies are so-called trying to be hottie toddy, but I guess just bougie, whatever. So it's like, this smell. I would think that you would have checked all of this out before, and I know immediately before it even happens that red hair is going to throw itty bitty under the table because she's just not, she doesn't mean enough. So you the foul girl. She, is kind of like, yeah, she says, yeah, and I would have, and little bitty's like, huh? So she's basically kind of testing her too, and it's going to be like, well, I would have thought she would have looked through. Anywho, girl, you bought for that. You came with your little bowl of water and your little silliness, and that's what the fuck you got. And that's why you and her gonna be into it later on in the show, and you gonna be trying it with her, and she's gonna have to pull the little girl. I'm this close to you on that. Okay, so everybody comes together and and she says, well, I have to make a confession. I'm really like interviewing an audition. She said, no, I'm just, she's trying to find some people to work with. She begins to tell them the whole project, not 10, not 15 million, but 20 million plus the 4 million on the house. Well, she's just going to do that herself. But she's trying to pull this shit together for these houses in these neighborhoods or whatever, and everybody's like, oh, okay. Instantly, Miss, I tell a lifestyle and I've been thinking and so and so. And my girl Titties, she's like, that's okay, fashion. And you sitting here with a knockoff Instagram dress on, you and your mama, baby. I about hit the floor. And that's when I say it, bitch. I'm here for you. I'm here for you, bitch. Let's call a spade a spade. Now, I don't want you to feel any kind of way on down the road if I call your ass out on, a couple of things like the fact that you have not figured out what kind of Spanx or garments to wear under tight clothing. Now, I still like you. You give me everything. Your hair. I just like you. But I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you to get the proper undergarments under your tighter fitting things. Okay? But everything else, we good. We good. That goes on. Oh, girl says, oh, I like you. The one that I said, I just like her. She's just even tone. Miss Toddy Toddy's like, I don't know what's going on with her and this label over here. Just instantly, with all of that. Bitch, we ain't got to compete, ho. Ho, if you selling it at that high, level or whatever, this ain't shit to you. Surely you ain't thirsty, you and your motherfucking brick-faced mama. You motherfuckers is definitely mother and daughter, but girl, you didn't even have to go there, but she came there professionally with her thing on, and she said, see, I see that you were able to stay on task and this and that and other. Everybody else kind of talks about what they could bring to it. Miss Honey Cabbage that has the child that has Down syndrome, she says how long she's been doing it, but she was forthcoming. Miss Judy of Titty, she had to, of course, go again with the Republicans and Old Money, and she knows so-and-so. So girls like, yeah, you definitely gonna be on it just on the strength of who you know. And way to go, bitch, because I would have said the same thing. Immediately, and then they're going to talk about Miss Titty and, You know, and it's kind of like, oh no, and oh, you did exactly what we thought you would do. Like, they got some undertone shit going on. Like, little bitty, girl, you scrounging, trying, whatever you think of her, you scrounging, trying to get where she's at, bitch. You still running around getting cokes and drinks, and can you get my laundry out, and bitch, bringing bowls of water to sit on the floor, bitch. Not even the decency to go get a table around and put a cloth on it, make it kind of cute, bitch. Come on, come on. You begin to have words and say you did what you do. You got up there, you're throwing shade at her, throwing hot ones at her. And then she says, oh, I know you. You used to sell chicken. Oh, so you went from selling chicken to real estate. Bravo, bitch. And I was like, come on, bitch. I knew I liked you. She handed her shit. She sat there like, oh, but no, bitch, I don't need you. You know, she's giving the cute read. I'm not going to show out. I'm not going to, you know, even though you know she got that dream snatcher and that in her. And just throwing shade. Red hairs throwing shade too. Lightweight. And then Miss Republican, she says, which I give her some shit on this one. She said, why are you, you know, you instantly are coming at her with this. Yada, yada, yada. Then the shit goes a little bit deeper. And, you know, it just was not called for. Whatever the bitch do. Honey, all you whores, come on. Call her out because she got her titties out. So what, bitch? You in there looking like a little bitty ass prepubescent boy. I mean, you know, with a little pocket booty. I mean, I can't. You throwing the shade at her for being, you know, although I will agree that she needs to pull them titties back a little bit. But girl, going straight for that, you feeling some kind of way about something. And child, for some reason, I believe it has everything to do with the fact that maybe it's a man or something involved, but you was like, I'm going to go. I'm not going to. So you took your little boy body out of there with the little booty bump. You do got the booty bump and your hair's cooking and makeup. So you laugh and Miss Red Hair is like, oh, okay, we're going to leave. And Miss Titty is like, well, I will talk to you. Call me or whatever, you know. So I don't know how that's going to go. But see, here's the thing. Miss Red Hair, you didn't use your head because her and Miss Republican came in there together. And they are Judy's. So you might want to think about that. And I know in the end you're going to have to check Lil Bitty. And really Lil Bitty is wanting, you know, Red Hair gives me snake just from the door. And I think Lil Bitty wants to be the snake just like her. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, y'all. But I'm thinking I'm going to stick with this show, honey. I want to see this. Y'all let me know what y'all thought of the show. Y'all opinion on, you know, what you think. I'm definitely going to be reviewing this. So that is my synopsis, my review on selling it in the ATL. Let's see if this shit stays on. You know, let's just see. I'm intrigued. So I'm out of here, y'all. Much love.